Hey everyone, welcome to our channel, Crystal Consciousness. Today our first story will be channeled from a crystal being called Unicrom. She will explain her name in full in the next video. She is channeling us from the Aquarius galaxy. Part of her essence is in the crystal we have. Here's her take on things.
Okay, first things first. My name. I know I'm probably going to get a lot for this, but I'm a female, in essence, the goddess. And you can call me Unicron. Though if you want to give me a nickname and just say Uni, that is fine too. And I know I'm talking through a male. This might get prejudice. Don't be sexist. We're in 2020. Grow up. Alright. For all my fans out there. Alright. We'll get this going. There's a couple things I need to clear up in the beginning. Your scientists think a Big Bang just happened, all these things just happen, and, all these unexplainable things just happen. No. Everything happens because living creatures make it, in some way or another. And boy, your science is very, very strict on what is what, this is this is that. It needs to evolve very quickly because you guys are holding on to what some old guy said. Just leave that alone and move on quick. Don't hold on to that crap, because I tell you, when I came over here from my other universe, I spent 3 million years just floating in space as a mineral before I was digested by some weird creature and then became it. I've seen things that would break your brain. Everything is alive in the universe. Everything. So when you shame yourself, everything sees it. Animals are okay with being naked because they know there is no privacy. But it's something that existed before you, and it'll exist after you, and it'll always exist. Something will always be watching you. Just like something will always be watching me, or something will always be watching something else. Everybody thinks they get away with stuff. Just a lot of things just don't care. They're like, big deal. Whatever you did. It won't be the next time another human does it again. You guys want to know how old your planet is. Your planet's a lot older than you think. Your planet is about 20 to 45 billion years old. Wait till you get down deep enough. You'll find it. You guys are just digging on the surface of what came off that other planet, and then wrapped your original planet in it. And before that, the layers in your planet, the inner Earths. So you guys have a lot to learn. But we'll see what they make public to you. We'll see what I need to tell you. We'll play this game. When I saw what caused your universe to be born was the death of a goddess and the sorrow of another god killing himself to join his goddess, and they decide to always rebel and their creation and be together forever. That's what created your universe. Okay? You'll have different reasons for when you get in the central sun. The universe is a lot bigger than you think. You guys only see what you guys can see, which is about only 40% of everything. So think, 60% of stuff you guys just goes right over your head. Now, I'm not trying to be derogatory and say I see so much more than you guys, but I do see, say, maybe 20% more on the spiritual quotient, and on the interdimensional quotient, I maybe see 40% more on that. We're pretty interdimensional ourselves. Only because we were made to be messengers in between. And not change. No matter what frequency or spectrum, we will always keep it. We're good frequency and spectrum keepers, I'll tell you what. That's because we were made for it. Just like how you guys were made to absorb things and then become them. Now, when that goddess was laying dying, something happened. When he killed himself, his essence and her essence, they mixed together, and then it exploded. Some people say it was the knife, his cosmic knife, and such a meta being hitting his heart that it caused some type of reaction. He was made of something different than what your planet is made of. And that would make sense. It would mean he would be made of gold, silver, and whatever minerals would be in your planet. Or maybe that's just what it rotted or turned into after all this time. I should take requests and saying where we need to go. But about me, I've been here before. I can talk about the universe I've been in before, or I can talk about this universe now. What do you guys want to know exactly?
This one.
This one. And what about?
I don't know.
Okay. This goes along the lines of, the god and the goddess dying. So, the dying god, you can say he was like a meta god. And out of these two dying beings, there was a mixing, and there was lesser life forms, born out of it. And they had they had all this technology and all these special, upper light being, being born into that, having the privileges and the powers of an advanced light being. You guys are so clamped on this planet. They have a veil over you, and everything they shove on you has a chemical and or something in it. Even if they say it doesn't, it does. It's so hard, from the water supply to anything else. They lie, and all their lies are becoming unraveled. So soon you will have the truth in that. But they came out of her when she was dying. Before he killed himself, he did cut her open to get the children out. And he was mad because the children had killed her, so he ate a couple. And you can see how that was turned into something else. Kronos ate the children and yada, yada, yada. But they didn't understand that their parents weren't Kronos and so-and-so, that But that was the original story of their parents. They adopt that moniker to, I am all powerful-ish. But if you were all powerful, your kids wouldn't have ate your ass and ripped you in 1,000 pieces and burned you and all that other crap. You wouldn't have to regenerate sliver by sliver, as in Kronos does. But I digress, because they can give you any story and, change the names. What's to stop you from believing that it's real? Or what's to stop you from believing that they changed what's in it? That's the problem with time travel, and that's why personal libraries are highly coveted. And should always be recommended. Any more things to set straight? A lot of people act like their ancestors didn't just come out of nowhere or come out from the sky. Or even the Indians and the oldest people say that they were put here by someone else. So why would you ever believe that home wasn't out there somewhere? You have any questions?
Mm-mm.
Now, when they dropped the first couple of refugees here, and it settled this planet in its infancy, it was more of a scientific outpost that was a paradise. And they were terraforming it for their needs. What was just a volcanic place, they dropped so many chemicals and things on this planet and help it be what it is today. And it's what those great iron balls are, or what they're stone now because they petrified. They used to have an electroplating to the outside of it. And they would charge in the sky. Like, you would see them suspended in the sky and energy between them. And you'd see the vehicles go back and forth. And you would see beings walking on top of these energy walkways. And they were coated. And these circular stones are everywhere, from South America to Africa. And they had networks because they're even in the sea. There was a lot more land back then because the water hasn't come from another planet yet. And fresh water was abundant underneath. And this open space from the inner earth, people wonder why your planet has 2 big holes in it. Well, that's what happens when a whole planet takes a big, giant, just explodes. A planet 10 times the size of your planet.
It blew a hole through our planet?
No, it exploded and the debris from that planet engulfed your planet. So think how your planet was bombarded beforehand, and then it slowly, like a giant land missile, got sucked towards the sun because of gravitational pull, and then to your planet. And that's what killed the dinosaurs, supposedly, but also it caused a great flood afterwards. And it was one thing after another thing after another thing. And even though for you guys it wasn't big, like it was the biggest deal because you guys were just recovering, and it wasn't your fault. The planet got destroyed. And you're wondering how a planet could get destroyed so easy. If the planet was 10 times the size of your planet, shouldn't there be more here? You know? Like, shouldn't this place be bigger? You know? A lot of the planet went to the sun. The sun's a portal, so it went through the sun into inner Earth. You always wonder why the sun has such, there's such heat coming off of it. And how, they read certain types of radiation and this, that, and such. Well, it's always decontaminating. It's always cleaning, So nothing that's unworthy goes through to the Most High and through that part. Now behind you, in the null space, is a black portal. Is a supermassive black hole, which is just a wormhole to another part of the universe. Light bends in there, but the door is closed. That's why it's dark. And they say things go in and, nobody ever sees it again. That's not right. It goes in front of the Most High. If not, it gets redirected where it needs to go. Most of them have ready, hardwired routes. They're made by petitioning the Most High. Guys used to petition the Most High for everything. And then everything got muddled. Your handlers were abusive for a while. Then they were replaced. When the Anunnaki were here, they corrupted your systems administrator. And then he became their god. Because him being a divine being, they became his devils. That's why he doesn't care about them, because he's not from them. He's a different being altogether. Though they count him among one of them. Because they are kind of transcendental beings. They're interdimensionals. They're rogue beings from the central sun. You guys could never win. Because they're ascended beings. 5th and 6th dimensional beings. And 6th dimensional beings were not really inherently bad or did anything evil. They just backed up the 4th and 5th ones, who easily swept through 3rd dimensional forces very easy. They had advanced technology, advanced abilities. But the whole planet that was wiped out, you guys used to call it Marduk. That was your original home. Or one of them. Your race lived longer there than you guys have ever been on Earth. Because it's an older planet. They can move planets. They know how to ferry planets, the Anunnaki. And soon, everything will be better than what it was before they came. It's going to be set right. We're going back into a good karmic cycle. They thought they had a birthright to anything below them because they were at a stature. They had an inflated head, too much air in their brain, not enough, brain matter. It's bad when you have air in your brain because it's supposed to be just water in your brain and blood and, whatever your brain needs. They didn't think. They just enjoyed whatever time they had. And they didn't think. Tragic, beautiful creatures who came so far would fall so far. When they used to be able to speak, now they become dumb and they become the fields, you know? And how the brightest and the most beautiful and awe-inspiring of your being. The planet enjoyed a much bigger scale, because what blew away that planet with that explosion ripped and torn away some layers of this planet, which this planet had grew. And the radiation, the fallout from it, evidently killed the world tree, and so they had to chop them down and take them away and use them in certain ways, or else, you know, the wither from the tree would destroy everything, which it did for so long. Some trees they burned, and the ash plume straight up to heaven. They said it was a meteorite, but it was the burning of the world trees. Some of them that would fill the world with dark, thick smoke for years at a time. Would be a trunk fire of a world tree. A giant, flaming pillar to the sky. Ash falling everywhere. But to be a tree, and to lose your view that you've seen for millions of years, when you were at one of the highest branches, when you were one of its beautiful rainbow fruit, and you could sit for another however long, because you had time and you were gonna grow bigger. I used to watch the sun come up and bounce off Yothigasaur, which was another word tree. We would communicate and watch the sky vehicles go back and forth from Yothigasaur to Unicrom. Girthker was another tree in line on the other route. And we would tell tales to each other. The travelers used to pass by on their skyfaring machines, away from the worlds below and their turmoil and their wild, lawless lands where the people up above didn't intervene in. Such an odd time, but there was the time at the beginning.
Thanks for listening. Unicrom will be back in the next video.